How y'all doing out there today? Listen, it is a snowy Friday where I am anyway. I know different parts of the world have different climates, but where I am in Dover, Delaware, I woke up to snow everywhere, which is the reality of many of us everywhere. So if you are covered with snow, be careful. Please be careful because I know a lot of people are essential workers out there. My children are essential workers, so I'm praying for them this morning to be safe and take their time while they have to do what they need to do to help people. I'm so grateful for them. But they are essential workers and they are out there doing the job that they were called to do. So to all the essential workers, be careful out here in this snow. But anyway, good morning. I had to sing it for y'all. Listen, I was going to tap out on y'all this morning. I didn't want to get up. My boss called me yesterday and was like, don't come in. We are not opening tomorrow at all due to the snow. I was like, what? But listen, I do hold myself to a certain standard and I am obligated, hold myself obligated to come before you guys as promised to deliver motivational messages. And I hold that in my heart. It's very important to me to sit before you guys because I never know the things that God places in my heart, where those things may be needed. So I am here to deliver. But anyway, I wasn't even able to make it out last night. I normally go out and speak publicly on Thursdays, and I wasn't able to do that because of circumstances and things that had gotten in the way, but my heart was there, and Lord willing, I will be back there next week for any of the my folks on here who I speak to in person and also watch my messages virtually. Lord willing, I will see you guys next Thursday. But anyway, happy Friday. Are you ready? Are you prepared for this weekend? I asked for this snow. Listen, sorry, not sorry. I love the snow and I'm glad that I don't have to be out there in it. And hopefully if we could just be as careful as possible, we don't have to shy ourselves away from it. I'm trying to think if we even had any snow last year at all. I don't even remember. And if we did, it wasn't much, or they probably thought we was going to get some, and we probably never ended up getting any. But I'm grateful for this snow today. I really am, especially the fact that I don't have to be out in it. Not today, anyway. So I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity to stay cozy and warm and in my home and catch up on some stuff and rest my body and relax my mind and do the things that I need to do for me. I hope so anyway. I don't know. Something is probably calling me out in the snow right now for whatever reason. I always stay so busy. But anyway, good morning and happy Friday. I just wanted to pop in on you guys and check in on y'all. Make sure y'all doing all right this morning. But I was thinking about a few things. I was thinking about desperation and hope. In times of desperation, we might do things that may be out of our character and things that we will not normally do. We will find ourselves doing in times of desperation. So I want us to kind of examine ourselves in those times of desperation because you don't want to make a decision in desperation that you will regret when you are not so overwhelmed by desperation. So what we can do is hold on to some type of hope. Hold on to hope that things will play out and work out in the way that we need them to work out, because where there's hope, we kind of eliminate desperation. So we don't want to find ourselves making drastic decisions that we would not normally make in times of desperation. And I think about those things and I apply them to myself as well, because I don't want to find myself making drastic decisions in desperation. I'm telling you, God places these things in my heart, and I was like, back and forth with my car yesterday and trying to get things fixed with my car, and I was like, at this point I was ready to like spend unnecessary money and all type of things, but when I had a moment of clarity, things worked out so much better than the decision that I would have made in desperation. And it made me think about it, because that can be the reality of a lot of us. We can find ourselves in desperate situations and end up making drastic decisions that's going to have more negative effect on us if we were to go ahead and make those decisions, opposed to us just giving ourselves a minute and kind of reevaluating our situation and holding on to some kind of hope and making better decisions. So it's always good to hold on to hope. A person without hope is lost, and you don't want to be lost. You don't want to be a person without guidance, and sometimes we have to be that guidance within ourselves. We can use our past experiences and the things that we had to grow through. I don't like saying go through, because a lot of times when we think about going through something, we think that things are just against us. But sometimes God allows us to grow through situations to help us in our future. But if we use our situations that we had to grow through in our past and kind of apply those lessons to our future decision making, that is wisdom. And that's when we don't continue to run into the same brick walls over and over and over again, because sometimes we can find ourselves being in some of the same tough situations year after year. Listen, I'm trying to help somebody today. I'm tired of my own suffering. I'm tired of being in my own way. I'm tired of making the same mistakes over and over and over again. And I want to look back on the mistakes that I made in the past so I can not make the same mistakes in my future. So that is very important to me. Even in my darkest of times, when I did not utilize my wisdom as much as I try to today, it's not always easy. And we are human and mistakes are allowed. But as long as you have the capacity to use your own thinking, because no one can make decisions for you but you. And we like to point the finger at Lottie Dottie and everybody, as my mother would say. We need to kind of reflect back on our own lives, because for real, y'all don't need me telling y'all this stuff. You don't need me. I mean, motivation is good, inspiration is good, but you can be your own motivation and your own inspiration, even looking back on the things that you went through in your past. It don't take rocket science to figure a lot of this stuff out. It really doesn't. And a lot of people will find themselves in some of the same situations year after year, or maybe even worse, because we are procrastinating. We are putting things off for tomorrow that should have been done yesterday. We are allowing ourselves to be led by fear. So many different reasons. We just want to be lazy in thinking, lazy in doing. We get complacent and get in our comfort zone, and we just don't want to move and we don't want to act. And I'm talking about desperation today, and I hate really focusing on not so positive words, but desperation is a real thing, because the more we procrastinate, we put things off, it's not going to disappear just because we ignore it. That's just not how it goes. So when this thing resurfaces and kind of blows up in our face, and we don't have a choice but to focus on this thing that we have been putting off and prioritize and taking care of it after we done allowed it to get as bad as it can possibly get, then our backs are against the wall, and now we are making decisions out of desperation. And I want us to prevent ourselves from being in that situation. We don't want to make decisions out of desperation. We want to kind of be proactive in our decision making, kind of map out your life for yourself and what you really want your life to be. It ain't nobody business what you want for yourself. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You don't have to tell anyone what your goals and your hopes and your dreams for your future is. 9 times out of 10, people going say negative words, who, child, I had to like stop somebody from like speaking certain words over me. I don't want certain seeds planted in my mind. I'm telling you, we have to be mindful of the conversations that we have with people on a regular basis. And just because they speak those words over themselves and they make certain things their reality, if you allow certain people to say certain things to you, they will plant those seeds in your mind. So be very vigilant of that. And you might not have to cut all ties with a person, but you have to make it very clear that when you talk to me, you can't plant certain seeds of negativity in my mind, because that's not where I am. That might be where you are. So we have to be mindful of the conversations that we have with people and the things that people have with us. We even know certain people that are just negative Nancy's and pouty Toms, and just always have something negative to say, never looking at the bright side, never being optimistic about with the possibilities of things turning out great and all those type of things. They just always got something negative to say. Let that be your reality. I don't want that to be my reality, because where your energy goes, that's what grows. And you will attract negativity to your life if you are constantly dwelling on negative things. Don't you know you can make yourself sick inside of your own body? I'm talking about ailments that probably would have never been a reality for you had not you planted so many negative seeds in your mind. People make their own selves sick, and they allow other people to make them sick. Listen, I'm careful today. I can't tell you who and who not to have relationships with or communications with, familyship, friendship, loving husband, wife. But I'm telling you, be mindful of the people that you choose to have close interactions with on a regular basis, because people can bring you down in many ways. And let me tell you how deceitful the enemy is. The enemy will allow people to do these things to you without you even realizing. You might think you having casual conversation with somebody, all the while they're planting seeds of negativity in your mind, and your life begins to reflect off of these negative seeds. I'm telling you, you got to be careful. This thing is not a game. The enemy is so deceitful. The things that you don't think the enemy is using other people. People don't even know that they are being used. They don't even know. I'm not telling you to be mad at these people or angry or curse them out or nothing like that. All what I am telling you is to watch out for yourself. Just watch out for yourself. If you care that much about yourself, your life, your future, the things that you want for yourself, all these things come into play when you are mapping out a good life for yourself. What was our message this week? We talked about motives. That was this week's life lesson. I like reflecting back on our life lesson just in our Friday message. But yes, we talked about motives this weekend. Sometimes people have hidden motives. Sometimes people have impure motives. Sometimes people have pure motives. Some people can have motives that's not even really evident to them. They might try to trick themselves into thinking they have pure motives as far as you are concerned, and not even knowing that they have hidden motives set out for you. Some people can have your life mapped all out for you, and you don't even know it. Like, wait till I get my hands on them. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna do this, and you don't even know you got your life mapped out one way. And people can be so strategic and destructive in what they want for your life. And some people are successful at destroying other people's lives. Listen, I'm not talking because I ain't got nothing else better to do. I'm telling you, you have to be careful. And then by associating ourselves with the wrong type of people, we find ourselves in desperate situations. We find ourselves in desperate situations. Then we like, hey, I sat up here and made the same mistake again, allowing myself, and I'm just using this one thing for an example because people suffer at the hands of other people quite often. That is not a game. Like, that is real. We suffer at the hands of other individuals, and I have learned to not even be mad at the people because, like I said, some people don't even know that they are being used. And on top of that, I have come to realize that some people have issues. They have deep rooted issues, unhealed issues within themselves that they have not even begun to focus on. So how is someone going to prioritize your feelings, your emotions, them having a healthy relationship with you or anything like that when you have not even begin to take the first, second, or third step to learn how to take care of your own personal issues? I'm not mad at the person. If anything, if I allow people to bring me down, I'm mad at myself for allowing them to do it. So I have to be mindful of my decision making and to not allow myself to come to the point where I feel like I'm in a situation of desperation, because sometimes these things can creep up on us and we don't even realize that desperation has crept up on us and the loss of hope have crept up on us. We can just find ourselves in these situations and now we don't know what to do. Now we don't know what to do. Now we are seeking guidance and I don't know, maybe looking at the lives of other people, or now we want to reflect back on our lives and like, how am I still making the same mistake again? How am I still associating myself with the wrong group of people or one person, or picking the wrong relationships or whatever? And we have to learn from our own mistakes because life is short at the longest for human beings. I mean, trees live longer than us. We don't live that long. And some people take that for granted. And a lot of people suffer for the majority of their lives. They do have this much joy and happiness that they can reflect back on. Some people leave this earth and suffering. And I'm not talking about physical suffering. Granted, we get old, we get sick, we die. That is the reality of it. I'm talking about mental suffering. Never being able to find peace in their mind. So not only are you old, sick, and dying, you don't even have peace in your mind. You were never able to acquire it. You were never able to nail it down. You were never able to hold a certain amount of peace, but for a certain time, even if you held it for a little while, you were never able to go back to it and make peace your reality because we're not prioritizing it. We are focusing on things and people that really don't mean us no good. So I think it's time for us. Listen, this is my opinion might not be so popular, but I think it's time for us to prioritize certain things and kind of shift some things around in our life. And the things that we have not been prioritizing, it's time for us to put those things on the forefront of our lives. I'm telling you, it's only going to help you. It's going to help you. I have learned how to do that. And I'm so glad that I did. Even I spend a lot of time out in nature and I enjoy it. I love it. It grants me peace of mind. I spend a lot of time laughing and enjoying the company of people that I would so rather be enjoying the company of, opposed to people that I used to associate myself with and not experience so much joy in life. These are the decisions that I make for myself today. I prioritize my happiness and I prioritize my peace. Those things are very, very important to me today. So as long as I have those two things, everything else is, and it always does, it falls into place. I really don't have to worry about anything now today. God is good to me and I am blessed, and that is a good place to be. But when we are not making such great decisions for ourselves, things like associating ourselves with the right group of people and allowing certain people to hold us down for whatever reason because that's your family. That's fine and good, but they be the ones. Like, you don't want it, don't matter who it is. I'm telling you, you have to prioritize yourself. And I emphasize this so much on the regular basis. Even the people that I talk to when I'm doing in-person public speaking, they suffer a lot, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with talking to people that endure a lot of suffering on the regular basis, because I am that person. I am the person that suffered a lot in my day, and they talk about the things that they want for themselves. And we talk about what they can do to kind of shift their situations around a little bit. And I say some of the same things over and over again. When you begin to work on yourself, everything else falls into place. Sometimes we can say, well, I'm going to, go to school, get a better job, pick up a trade, gain more education. And all of those things are fine, well, and good and amazing for mapping out a good future. But a lot of people have made the sad mistake of prioritizing those things and lost everything else while doing that. So now you have this higher education, you have a salary, a good paying job, and all of those type of things, but you have no joy, no peace. You're not healthy within your body. You're not healthy within your mind. You're suffering in your mental health. You're not happy at all. Work on yourself internally. And I expressed to a lot of people, this is one thing that I was talking about, I think it was maybe this week, no, it was last week, when I talked about getting down to our issues, like the source of our issues. I had so much breakthrough in my public speaking last week. And I know I cannot change the world, and that is not my aim. I can't even change people. The world has to change itself. People have to change themselves. I'm just a tool. Like, God is using me for these purposes. But there were things that were spoken about that people never really speak about, and they're getting down. I let people talk to me. That's why so bad sometimes I wish I can have more communication with my virtual audience, but it's okay. I'm just grateful to be able to be here delivering messages in this way anyway. But I let people talk, and the stuff, it comes out. Like, if you had to imagine it, it's like them throwing up. Excuse me, I don't want to be gross, but it's like them like gurgitating all this unhealingness and unhealthiness. And I'm like, yes, I love it, because I see it taking place, and they just saying all this stuff that they don't talk about. And this is my issue. And I don't even know that I still suffer from this, and it's trauma, and like they're shaking and jumping, and just things that they are have been allowing themselves to suffer with, that's having this major impact on their lives right now. And they don't even realize that that's the root of their suffering. We have to get down to the roots of our suffering. Why are you still suffering? Listen, I'm counseling y'all today. You're welcome. I'm counseling you today. We have to get down to the root of why you are still suffering, and some of the ways that you have been suffering. You might still be traumatized from something, and your life is reflecting on it because of something that happened to you a long time ago. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. And I know that is easier said than done, but newsflash, for those of you who don't know my testimony, you're looking at somebody that got rid of it. I had to throw the garbage in the garbage. I had to throw the trash in the trash. I don't want that mess on me. I can't walk. I can't perform. I can't dance. I can't be happy. I can't laugh. I can't walk around with that stuff on me. I had to get it off of me. It's probably something on you that you don't even know that's on you. Get rid of it. If you have been going through the same suffering, and this could be having a reflection on your life in any kind of way, you might eat too much. You might have too much sex. You might gamble too much. You might spend too much money. You might do things. It might be reflecting you in a negative way that's having a major impact on your life. And you don't know why you are catering to all of these bad habits because you have not dealt with your issues. It's time to deal with your issues. It's still the beginning of the year. Listen, I'm trying to help somebody today because you can't move forward and do the things that you really want to do deep down within yourself. You can't successfully move on with your life if you don't deal with those issues. It's like picking it up and taking it off of you. Put it over there. Just put it to the side so you can focus on something else, because there is so much more out here for you to focus on. You have work to do. God has a job for you. A lot of us have children, and our children's lives are being affected by our trauma. I don't want to make that mistake. My kids don't deserve that. Generational curses and things that happen to us in our families and in our past and all of those type of things. The people might be wrong. Listen, they were wrong as wrong could possibly be, granted. But that don't mean you have to walk around with that suffering because of the damage that people did to you. Forgive them. I know we don't want to. We want to tell them how much we hate them, and we want to curse them out and stomp around and spit in their face and cry or whatever and tell them how much they hurt us and all of those type of things. They know what they did. You don't have to say anything. And on top of that, they are probably already suffering, having to deal with the things that they got to deal with this stuff. You know, unless you repent and talk to God, we have things that we need to repent for. We just do. So while we so busy holding resentments against other people and hating people and being not forgiven, you need forgiveness just as well as the person that harmed you needs forgiveness as well. So there's so much for us to do. We have not even cracked the surface of the obligations that needs to be fulfilled as far as we are concerned, the marks that need to be left on this earth, the peace that we need to acquire. We have not even cracked the surface of fulfilling our destiny and our duty and our desires and all of those things becoming one with God. God is so big and so major. If we don't begin to have a connection with him, we will be so far away from it. It takes a long time. Trust me, it takes a long time to have a good connection with God, to have a great relationship with God. And we probably think that we have time to build that connection with God. But if you don't do it now, you probably may never do it. You'll probably be so far away. God is more than when we can possibly wrap our minds around. And you're not going to gain, and that's the most important relationship you will ever have in your life. So while we are so busy worrying about all these other relationships, we need to be worrying about focusing on our relationship with God. We need to mend that relationship. God is there for you. He's your source. You're going to always be able to rely on God, even in your times of desperation, even when you out there cutting a fool and doing stuff you ain't got no doggone business doing. God is going to always be there. God is not going to always be there when you need to pray and when it got bad and when you lose a loved one and all those type of things. God wants to celebrate with you. God wants to dance with you. God wants to laugh with you. God don't only want to be there in hard times. He want to be there in good times too. He's not a God of sorrow. He's a God of joy. He's a God of peace. He wants to be there to share in your life with you. And sometimes we only call on God in times of desperation and when we're not doing so good. So, I mean, I can't speak for anyone else and where they are in their lives today. I know where I am and I know where I want to be, and I know I don't want to go back to where I used to be. So it's about growth and elevation. We can find ourselves slipping up, making some of the same mistakes, but we have to catch ourselves in those times of weakness for whatever reason that we fall short and become weak at certain times. We got to catch ourselves and we got to start pulling ourselves back. Not once, not twice, but every time. If you fall 100 times, get up 100 times. If you fall 100 times, pull yourself back up 100 times. Every single time. A lot of people ask me, how did you do this? How did you get off drugs? How did you make some of the drastic decisions in your life that you had to make to turn your life around? My main ingredient is I never gave up on myself. Even in my darkest days, even when other people lost hope for me, when they spoke bad about my life, when they spoke bad about my kids, or she got all them kids and what she gonna do with them and she can't take care of them. My kids are doing better than some of the adults. A lot of the adults that I know have made more accomplishments in their 20-something years of life than a lot of 50-year-olds that I know have not even made the accomplishments that my children are continuing to make and have made in their 20-something years of life. And I'm telling you, they talk bad about me. Somebody called, they was trying to say my name and they like hacked it up. And they was like, oh, I'm sorry. They were so apologetic. I said, trust me, I've been called worse. And it ain't sound nothing like that. Like they called me everything but what my mama named me in front of my face and behind my back. I know what it feel like to be dogged out, beat down, talked about, dragged through the mud. If my life would have mapped out the way that the way that they said it was, I would be nothing. And that's probably what they wanted for me. But I thank God that he put the strength down in me to want more for myself. I could not accept that as my reality. That's why I stopped relationships. I stop people from saying certain things to me, because you can talk about me. You can't stop people from talking about you. You can have a party with it. I don't care. But you're not going to say it to me, because those seeds, I refuse for those seeds to be planted in my mind. I'm not going to allow that to become my reality. I see that as a major sign of disrespect when people think that they can say any and everything to me. You might even speak that way to you. You probably don't even know how to speak good to yourself about yourself. You probably dog yourself out on a regular basis. Oh, here we go. I'm a nothing behind nobody who ain't going to never be nothing. All that stuff that they told you and all those seeds that they planted in your mind. Now you are convinced that those things are true. I can't make that my. I can. Now, if I was by myself, then, but I got kids and I had a father that truly loved me. So I know my worth. I always knew it was there. I just had to discover it. I had to bring it out of me. This is the same me that used to do drugs and run the streets and all those type of things and had to make my mistakes back in my younger days. I'm not going to continue to make those same mistakes, because now I know the value that lies within me, and I know that I want more for myself. So it depends on, listen, we got to personalize it. This is your life that we are talking about here. How far are you willing to go to make drastic decisions for yourself and for your life to kind of spin the block and turn things around for yourself? What are you willing to do? Are you going to allow yourself to get into desperation and begin to make decisions out of pure desperation? Allow yourself to settle down in relationships out of pure desperation? Settle down with certain levels of life as far as your career is concerned, your health, you don't feel like doing it. So a lot of people just don't feel like doing the things that they need to do for themselves. They don't want to eat the healthy foods. They don't want to listen, I'm walking down everybody out today. They don't want to eat the healthy foods. They don't want to do the exercise. They don't want to go to the gym. What are you willing to do for your peace of mind? Are you willing to gain a closer connection with your higher power? Are you willing to do whatever that you need to do? Focus on your mental health. Be creative and whatever. If you don't know, Google it. I don't know. Listen, I try what by all means necessary. It is very important to me, the quality of life that I live from this point forward, because I know what my life used to look like, and I'm not going back that way, and I refuse to allow myself to go back in that direction. So I'm very mindful of the things that I do on the regular basis, so I don't have to go through the same suffering that I had to experience 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. I ain't doing it no more. I'm different today, and I like my different. It's fun here. I'm staying here. Like, it's only going to get better from here. And that's just from my personal experience. So you have to personalize it. That thing that you don't feel like doing, you can just allow it to become a brand new lifestyle for you. Introduce yourself to something more healthier for you. Kind of let go of some of those bad habits and some of those things that have been pulling you down and snapping you back into your old you. And I used to do this and I used to do that, and they gonna bring out the old me. They ain't got to. Let them bring out the new you, because they don't know that you. They're expecting to bring out the old you. Don't let them do it. There's so much potential and wisdom and everything that we have inside of us, and it's way easier to think and do things negatively than it is to do things positively. And it's hard, but what isn't? Everything is hard. Like, there's no easy way out of anything. And we are so busy looking for the easy way out. And newsflash, it doesn't exist. You just have to pick your heart. Pick your heart. What are you willing to struggle with? It's not easy being complacent and content and living a life below your standards. And it's not easy being successful and living a fulfilled life either. Both of them take work. A lot of people work just as hard to be failures as others work to be successful. It's the same amount of work. You just putting it in different directions. Y'all gonna have to miss me with that. I keep talking about it's so hard. It's so hard. I don't feel like doing it, but you feel like arguing with somebody. You got time for that. Y'all funny. All right, I'm gonna stop messing with y'all. But anyway, that's it. I love y'all. God bless. Did I snap? Did I snap a little bit? Because if I did, sorry, not sorry. Listen, God, that wasn't me. That was the Lord. If it was something that God wanted to use me to speak through y'all today, don't blame it on me. Take it up with God, because he is using me for these things. I probably didn't even really focus in a direction that I really planned on focusing on today. No, this is not a life lesson. I just come to you guys with some Friday motivation, kind of jumpstart your weekend and plant some positive seeds in your head. That is my aim. I want you to go back and think about some of these things that I am saying to you and see how you can apply it to your life. It's not going to look the same for you as it looked for me. We are not the same. We have different walks of life. We have different struggles, different issues, different traumas, all kind of different things that we have to deal with, and everybody has them. Everybody has certain issues that they need to deal with, certain things that they need to focus on so they can live the life that they truly want to live. So it's time for us to prioritize those things and focus on those things. Just like I want the best for me, I want the best for you as well. I promise you I do. So that is it, you guys. God bless you. I love you and thank you. Thank you for all of you who are live on my Facebook. I so appreciate your presence here on my live broadcast, your comments, your likes, your shares, your love, everything that you do to support me in every kind of way. I do not take those things for granted. I greatly appreciate those things from my heart. The only thing that I can ask is that you take these things and use them as tools to help you. Even if it's one minor thing, you have to start small. Those small things that we do is going to have a major impact on our life. So you can start with one thing. You can pick one thing out of everything that I said today and kind of begin to apply some of these things into your life, especially if you know that you have been going through some of the same suffering in whatever kind of way in your life. It's time for our suffering to come to an end. I believe that God does not want me to suffer anymore, especially in the ways that I had to suffer in my past. My suffering days are over, and I proclaim that over myself. My best days are now. I'm walking into my best days, and I still have better days than this. Sometimes I think my life is so good, I can't even ask for anything else. And sometimes I think that it can't get no better than this. I have cried so many tears of joy. That's all I meant to tell y'all. I hate crying, and I just don't like crying. I don't know. I think it probably came from the trauma and just like people always making me cry. And then when my father passed away, and I was just like falling apart and crying, and my twin was like, "Stop crying, you're embarrassing me, and people are coming in here." And so I just like I just don't like to cry. But lately I have been allowing myself to cry. I'm like, yay. I really needed that. Like, I needed that release. And I'm so glad that it hasn't been tears of sorrow. It's by far tears of sorrow. It's me thinking about the accomplishments of my children. It's me thinking about the love and joy and peace that surrounds me every day. It's me laughing so hard that I'm literally crying, and like twice. Yeah, like 2 times I let myself cry in the past. That is huge for me. Like, that is so big for me because that's just not something that I do. But crying is not a bad thing. I mean, it's really a healthy thing. But I want us all to be able to cry tears of joy. I don't want and speak that over yourself. The next tears that I cry is going to be tears. The next tears that you cry is going to be tears of happiness and joy. Your tears of crying, tears of sorrow are over. Your tears from this point forward are going to be tears of joy. That's the kind of tears that I don't think I ever did that before. I don't think ever in my life, I'll be 44 this year. I don't think I never cried tears of joy before this moment in my life. I can't speak for others. And I mean, I know it happens. And, we have moments of pride, things that we could be proud of, and all of those type of things. Even when my son was like walking out during his march, during his graduation, I was like, oh my gosh, I just felt like a big baby. But I have been allowing myself to release in that kind of way, and I'm grateful for that. It just made me feel so good. But yeah, we gonna start crying some tears of joy. Our tears of sorrow, our days for crying tears of sorrow is going to be behind us. And not that we will never have to cry tears of sorrow, but our tears of joy are going to by far outweigh our tears of joy and sorrow. Speak that over yourself and allow that to become your reality. You can say that to yourself and it can actually happen. I'm telling you, we have to be very mindful of the seeds that we plant in our own minds. That is very important. So before I go, let me just shout out real quick. Shout out to my YouTube channel. I love y'all. I get so much love and support from YouTube, and I am very, very grateful for that. But my YouTube is True Value, Knowing Your Worth on YouTube. If you have not yet liked, share, and subscribe, please do go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. There is a bunch of fun and happiness and motivation, inspiration, short videos, long videos, all type of things going on my YouTube channel that may be a little different from the things that I put on my social media platforms. And it's support and love in those type of ways. I can monetize off of my social media platforms. I do have stars that you can purchase, like 99 stars for $1 on my Facebook. Some people have already purchased stars on some of my videos. Shout out to y'all, but don't deny yourself of that. 99 cents is not a whole lot of money. Either way, I'm grateful for your presence and support here. But my books are also available on sale on Amazon. That is True Value, Knowing Your Worth. Walk a treasure, discover your hidden treasure, feed your soul, your personal guide to health and wellness, and religiously. And that is taking a closer look at spirituality and religion. So thank you in advance for those of you who will support me in those kind of ways. And thank you for your presence and everything that you do on a regular basis to keep me going. So y'all be safe out here in the snow. If you don't have to go out, stay in the house, do something productive, read a book, pray, meditate, watch some Netflix, eat some popcorn, enjoy your loved ones, do something for your mental health, do something for your physical health, walk up and down the flight of steps a couple times to kind of get your heart racing, break up a little sweat. You can do some cardio right in your own home. Do something that is going to help the future you. And I like doing those things, and it's effective. It works. When I do things now that help benefit my future is always benefited by the things that I have done to ensure those things. So I am encouraging you to do those things for yourself today. In the meantime, God bless you. I love you, Lord willing. I will be back with more life lessons, more motivational messages, more short videos, more long videos, more funny videos, whatever that my heart tells me. I don't know, sometimes some things I will not put up there because I just be out of pocket sometimes. I play too much, and I like having fun. I don't deny myself of that, but I'm here for it. I love you. God bless you. In the meantime, you guys continue to stay blessed.